Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 15. The dish that was served was lacking in color, fragrance, and taste. Lu Shu picked at it for a while before finally recognizing it as the bamboo shoots. Regardless, he decided to eat first and worry about the details later. Midway through the meal, their good old almsbeggar arrived. Early or not, it's fortunate timing, Hui Shang greeted as he entered, then went straight to the kitchen to get some utensils. You've come at just the right time. I need to speak with you, Lu Shu said. What about? You're always out begging for alms, right? Next time you're in town, see if there are any young masters who need their books transcribed. Hui Shang and Shen Cao both looked at him in surprise. Transcribing books? Yes. Believe it or not, but not all rich young masters who study actually want to learn. Many just do it to pass the time, Lu Shu explained. Although he had only attended school for half a year, he still had a few good friends who often spent their days idling at school. During the day, Lu Shu would accompany them in various activities like gambling or horse racing, and at night, they would listen to music in brothels. As for the tasks assigned by the teacher, they would simply pay someone else to do it for them. These people are foolish and have too much money, Lu Shu concluded, forgetting that this bad idea originated from him which he gave to his friends. They'll even give extra rewards when they're happy, so you can earn quite a bit. When Hui Shang left, Lu Shu quietly reminded him again to help inquire about this matter while he would take care of convincing Shen Cao to do it. Why are you hesitating? This is a profitable venture. You only need to write a few words with your hands, Lu Shu urged Shen Cao. Shen Cao remained silent. The most important thing for us now is to make money. Although we can learn a trade from the bamboo weaver, we don't know how long it will take, and during that time, we might not be able to make ends meet. What should we do? We can't both spend our time on this, Lu Shu continued. Shen Cao's expression softened slightly. I know what you're worried about, Lu Shu sighed. You do? Shen Cao looked at him puzzled. Yes, you just don't want to go to town every day, Lu Shu understood. No, you don't understand. Lu Shu hated studying, so he couldn't understand Shen Cao's aspirations and respect for studying. For the stability of the world, the continuation of knowledge, and the peace of future generations. He had never thought about transcribing books for a group of rich young masters who were not interested in studying. Before they could reach a conclusion on this matter, they had to go to the bamboo weaver's place. In the afternoon, the bamboo weaver taught them how to scrape and split bamboo, smoothing the surface of the bamboo and then splitting it into pieces of the required size. Since they were just starting out, the craftsman only asked them to split the bamboo into evenly sized strips. The two of them worked, standing and squatting while handling the bamboo in their hands. The bamboo weaver found a stool from a pile of debris and threw it in front of them. Sit down and do it. Both of them looked at him in confusion. The bamboo weaver sat on a stool while holding the bamboo in one hand and continuously moving it forward, with the knife in his hand never changing position and quickly scraping the bamboo. They understood and immediately sat down to learn. After sitting for a while, Lu Shu became a little restless. He looked at the silent craftsman, then at Shen Cao who was earnestly learning the craft, and sighed. What's wrong? Shen Cao asked. Seeing that he was speaking again, Lu Shu immediately whispered to him, Don't you find this boring? Are we going to sit here and work like this all day in the future? Shen Cao glanced in the direction of the bamboo weaver and said, Big brother can do it. He's not an ordinary person. By the way, have you thought about what we discussed at noon? I haven't decided yet. Ahem. The bamboo weaver suddenly coughed and the two of them immediately fell silent. After a while, Lu Shu nudged Shen Cao's elbow and asked in a very low voice, Have you decided yet? It's only been 15 minutes. I can make a lot of decisions in 15 minutes. Lu Shu reminisced about his carefree life, wandering around the streets, buying horses in the east, walking wolves in the west, watching boxing matches in the north, and buying clothes in the south. What a carefree life it was! He couldn't help feeling a little nostalgic. Being away from home for so long, he still missed home, and having a full money bag. He wondered if his family misses him. They should be looking for him everywhere by now, right? Let him get through this year first and then he'll definitely go back to see his parents while sobbing. What's wrong with you? Shen Cao saw Lu Shu's eyes gradually turning red, a light mist covering his beautiful eyes, and he felt a little flustered. Could it be because he was taking too long to make a decision, causing him to feel sad? Don't cry, I'll do it, Shen Cao said as he reached out to wipe Lu Shu's tears with his sleeve. Are you serious? Lu Shu looked at him suddenly. Do you really agreed? Yes. Shen Cao nodded, relieved to see him stop crying. Transcribing books, let's do it. Actually, Xiao Wu was not wrong. The family was about to enter a period of poverty and they needed some income. This was not the time to talk about ideals and aspirations. That's great. Lu Shu hugged him excitedly. But from now on, you'll have to work hard. You'll have to learn the craft from the master bamboo weaver, Shen Cao whispered in his ear. Can you handle it? Of course I can. Lu Shu said confidently. Ahem. The bamboo weaver's warning cough sounded again. The two released each other's hands and continued scraping bamboo, occasionally glancing at each other and smiling silently. The bamboo weaver, ... So envious, friendship between men is always passionate, bringing tears to one's eyes. After scraping the bamboo, it was time to split it. Shen Cao split one in half with one stroke, while Lu Shu got stuck. Hey, can you not embarrass me at a time like this? Lu Shu said to his own knife, then swung the knife with a fierce expression on his face. Be careful not to hurt yourself, Shen Cao reminded. Don't worry, I won't hurt myself. Lu Shu raised the knife, started to exert force, took a few steps back, and accidentally stepped on the bamboo craftsman's foot. Ah! The bamboo craftsman couldn't help but cry out in pain. Shen Cao, or hurt others. Big brother, are you okay? Lu Shu quickly went to check on the bamboo weaver, but he accidentally stepped on a bamboo chopstick on the ground. Ah! With a thud, his face fell into the bamboo shavings. Shen Cao, ... On the way back, Lu Shu lay on Shen Cao's back and said, I just fell by accident, it doesn't mean I'm not suitable for this job, so you can rest assured and go transcribe books. Shen Cao ignored his ramblings and asked, Is your knee still hurting? A little. Lu Shu weakly laid his head on his shoulder, his hands swaying in front of his chest. If you're tired, put me down and rest for a while. Not tired. Lu Shu pulled the corners of his mouth and noticed that the sun was about to set. There were only the two of them on the road, and the sound of the wind around them seemed particularly peaceful. He hummed a tune, a Jiangnan tune that Shen Cao had never heard before but seemed to like. The melody contained the tenderness of the Jiangnan water, melodious and graceful. After listening for a while, he suddenly noticed a change in the tune. Miss Ni Chong sent her lover sent him to the bridge. The lover wants to confide in me, even taste my sweet lips. Shen Cao, ... Shen Cao stumbled and almost fell down into the nearby field. What kind of tune is this? His forehead vein twitched. The song is called Farewell to the Lover. Shen Cao, ... Shen Cao had only heard of Song of the Feathered Robe, so it was the first time he had heard of this farewell song. Who composed this song? It was composed by a courtesan named Nei Chong. How is it? Does it sound good? Lu Shu asked eagerly. It doesn't sound good. You have no taste. Lu Shu sighed deeply. The song Farewell to the Lover was Nei Chang's masterpiece, a tune that many people longed to hear but could never listen to. He had spent a lot of money on it, enjoying exclusive one-on-one service every time. Who knew how many dandies had envied him? Back home, Shen Cao set Lu Shu down in the hall and checked the wound on his knee. He applied some medicinal herbs on the wound and instructed him to sit still and not move around before he went to attend to other matters. Wait a moment. Shen Cao felt his hand being grabbed and a soft, warm hand pressed against his palm. He turned his head in surprise to see Lu Shu looking down at his hand, his finger pointing at the cut on his knuckle. You've scraped your skin here. There was an indescribable worry in his tone. Shen Cao smiled, it's nothing. It's just a scratch, it'll heal soon. Don't you need to treat it? No need. And applying medicine would affect what he was about to do. Shen Cao returned to his room and tidied up the house. Since he was going to transcribe books, he needed paper and a brush. He stored away the good quality rice paper and wolf hair brushes, opting for ordinary paper and brushes. His gaze lingered on another package, carefully opened to reveal his collection of famous calligraphy and paintings. When he left home, he didn't bring much money, but he did take these things with him. As darkness fell, the kitchen became busy again. Lu Shu sat by the stove, humming the song Farewell to the Lover. He hummed it incessantly and repeatedly. Shen Cao was busy cooking, too preoccupied to stop him. But whether it was because the tune was too catchy or he had heard it too many times, when Lu Shu sung the line "The lover wants to confide in me," and paused to catch his breath, Shen Cao, with a serious expression, continued the song. Even taste my sweet lips. As the words fell from his lips, both of them looked at each other simultaneously as the room filled with a dead silence. Catchy, isn't it? Lu Shu slowly raised his thumb. He had said it before, no one could resist the beautiful song of Farewell to the Lover. Shen Cao, ... End chapter. Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 16. In the evening, Hui Shang hurriedly came to catch them having dinner and brought back some good news. There's indeed a young master looking for someone to transcribe books for him, writing a few characters every day, for 3 or 2 silver coins a month. Lu Shu revealed a triumphant look. Although it was only a small amount each month, which used to be negligible for him, but considering the current situation, 3 or 2 silver coins were like a godsend for this family. Shen Cao apparently also thought 3 or 2 was a lot, but also felt a subtle sense of loss. In the end, even the classics had to bow down to earthly needs. What made him more depressed was that many people didn't have the opportunity to have proper education, and yet there are those who didn't cherish this hard-won opportunity and opted to live aimlessly, which gave him a sense of great disparity. Ignoring their silence, Hui Shang continued to talk about the situation of this work prospect. The young master is surnamed Zhang, his family runs a cloth business. Master Zhang wants him to pursue an official career, but he's lacking in talent and prefers to idle away every day. So, tomorrow, you will accompany me to the town to meet him and discuss the details. As for when they would return, it was uncertain. Shen Cao instructed Lu Shu about the household chores. I will feed the chickens in the morning. If I come back late in the evening, remember to feed them then. Let them out to roam during the day. I'll talk to Brother Chao about getting you something to eat for lunch. Once I receive the monthly allowance, I'll reimburse him for the meal expenses. Lu Shu gratefully grasped his hand. You take care outside. If that young master surnamed Zhang bullies you, just tell me and I'll beat him until he's toothless. Shen Cao's lips curved slightly, letting out a faint laugh. Hui Shang lowered his eyes, staring at their clasped hands on the table. Touched by their deep brotherly bond, he also covered their hands with his. Before he could finish what he was about to say, the two men withdrew their hands one after another. Hui Shang, ... Hui Shang felt wronged. Are you guys excluding me? No, you're a monk. What bond is there between us? Lu Shu asked. Hui Shang, what bond? Weren't you the one who started it first? Apologies, I'm not used to it, Shen Cao apologized. Hui Shang, but you're used to it with him, hey? Haha, I'm still being excluded after all, no wonder I'm always told to sleep on the floor. This man has a soft exterior but a ruthless heart. Enough, let's go to bed, Lu Shu yawned and got up. Shen Cao also prepared to return to his room. The two met at the door, exchanged glances and was about to speak when suddenly they felt someone approaching behind them. Hui Shang looked at them gloomily, pushing them into their respective rooms with one hand on each man. Go to sleep, don't linger here with sentimental farewells. Even Buddha would shake his head. Lu Shu, ... Shen Cao, ... Early in the morning, Lu Shu woke up promptly due to the commotion outside. Hui Shang was chanting in the main hall, while Shen Cao was feeding the chickens in the courtyard. He got up briskly, put on his clothes, and ran to the courtyard. Shen Cao heard the noise, turned around and smiled. Up so early today? When are you leaving? Lu Shu asked blankly. After breakfast, we'll set off. Okay. Lu Shu quickly went to freshen up. During breakfast, he couldn't help but remind again, if someone bullies you, just tell me, I'll beat them to a pulp. Although he suggested this, now that the moment had arrived, he couldn't help but worry. What if that young man surnamed Zhang had a bad temper? Did Shen Cao really understand the ways of those spoiled young masters? This work requires cooperation, why would he bully me? Shen Cao smiled. No, you don't understand the world of the spoiled young masters. The more he thought about it, the more uneasy Lu Shu felt. While Shen Cao was packing things in his room, Lu Shu secretly pulled Hui Shang into a corner, instructing him to closely follow Shen Cao today and not allow him to be alone, to always protect him. Do you know what you look like now? Hui Shang asked after a long silence. Lu Shu asked in puzzlement, what? Like his mother, you're just missing the final stitch before his departure, Hui Shang said. What stitch? Lu Shu was confused. Forget it. Hui Shang glanced at him speechlessly. You should read more books when you have time. Phew, don't jinx me. When they left, Lu Shu stood at the courtyard gate and watched them leave. After walking a short distance, Shen Cao turned back and could still see the figure standing in place. He shouted, go back. Okay, you take care. Lu Shu shouted back, cupping his hands around his mouth. I will. You take care, too. Hui Shang, doesn't anyone care about me? As the sun rose, people began to go out for work, and Lu Shu went to report to the bamboo weaver. Last night, Shen Cao specially came to apologize to the bamboo weaver. Originally, they had asked him to teach them the craft of weaving, but now, he was quitting after just one day. After explaining the reason, the bamboo weaver did not angry but was rather a bit pleased. His main expression of joy was nodding repeatedly, good, 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 it's good to have one less person making noise. Shen Cao was speechless, and he reminded him again about letting Lu Shu freeload for meals. He handed over 30 yuan as a deposit, which was almost half of what he had left, and the rest would have to wait until the end of the month to be paid. Lu Shu was unaware of this deposit, and when he arrived at the bamboo weaver's place, he looked very dejected. Without Shen Cao accompanying him, he didn't have the same enthusiasm for work. Today, they continued to split bamboo. After a while, Lu Shu chopped it messily, feeling disheartened. How long do I have to learn this? Based on his talent and strength, the bamboo weaver made a concise evaluation and said, shortest is 3 years, longest is 10 years. Lu Shu was shocked, that long? When will I start earning money then? I want to make money right away. You can't rush it, the bamboo weaver said without lifting his head from the stool, you need to be patient. Even with patience, you can't earn much money, Lu Shu thought. Doing this every day, he wouldn't be able to support a family and at most, would just barely make ends meet. He didn't understand where this patience came from, being able to sit here all day like this for a lifetime. Lu Shu lazily walked up to him, squatting down and curiously asked, "Big brother, don't you ever get impatient?" The bamboo weaver's eyes flickered slightly, and after a long silence, he barely audible spoke, "Yes." "When?" Lu Shu asked. "When she wants to buy new clothes, I get impatient," the bamboo weaver said in a low voice. It took Lu Shu a while to realize that the she he mentioned was his wife. Just as he was considering his words, he heard him say again, "It's my fault." Lu Shu looked at him unexpectedly, not seeing any resentment on his face. "Did you get angry with her?" The bamboo weaver shook his head, burying his head and continuing to work on the bamboo strips without stopping. "I can't afford what she wants. She has suffered enough by being with me. I hope that man doesn't let her down." Lu Shu pursed his lips and suddenly slapped his arm, almost knocking the knife out of the basket weaver's hand. "You work so hard, you're already one of the wealthier ones in the village. Every household will come to you for business. Keep it up, and you'll definitely find a good wife." The bamboo weaver stiffly twitched the corners of his mouth. Then he paused and then expressionlessly said, "Are you being lazy?" Caught off guard by his probing, Lu Shu awkwardly smiled and returned to his seat to continue working, and for some reason, he seemed to be more serious than before. Lunch was prepared by the bamboo weaver. It's stir-fried green peppers and potatoes. Although the taste was mediocre, it was much better than Shen Cao's cooking, which couldn't even be identified. Unfortunately, Lu Shu didn't have any appetite. He glanced at the person sitting across from him. The bamboo craftsman remained silent while eating and chewing quickly, which was completely different from Shen Cao. Shen Cao's cooking wasn't great, but his table manners were excellent, calm, quiet and refined. When their eyes met, he would think he hadn't eaten enough and would smile as he served him more food. The bamboo weaver, however, would immediately bury his head as soon as his eyes met his, afraid that he would talk to him. Lu Shu didn't stop his chopping despite the bamboo weaver's silence. "Big brother, I miss Ah Cao, don't you miss him, too? Do you think he's eaten by now? I wonder if everything going is fine? When will he be back? Brother Xiao, ... The bamboo weaver pondered for a while, unsure how to answer, but then, he found that Lu Shu didn't seem to need his response at all as he continued on his own. "It's late, he should have eaten by now. He's quite clever, so things should be going smoothly. He should be back when it's dark." In the afternoon, the courtyard became very quiet, with only the sound of knives colliding with bamboo could be heard. Lu Shu didn't like the silence, so he tried to make conversation. "Big brother, let me tell you a story, do you want to hear it?" "Brother Xiao, ... It's a story that Ah Cao told me, about 3 women and 105 men." Finally, the bamboo weaver glanced at him, but it was just for a brief moment and almost went unnoticed by Lu Shu, who continued to happily tell the story. "Oh, so lively today, hey," a couple was passing by outside. It was Uncle and Aunt Zhu, who had just returned from the field. "Yeah, we're telling stories," Lu Shu replied as he walked to the door. "Oh, is it the story that Brother Kate told? I want to hear it, too," Aunt Zhu said. "Sure, come on in." However, her husband reminded her that they needed to go back for dinner, so Lu Shu said, "We'll tell you later in the evening." "Okay, we'll come over after dinner," Aunt Zhu said cheerfully, taking out some freshly picked tomatoes from her basket. "Have some of these. They are freshly picked." "Oh, we gratefully accept this." Lu Shu quickly received them with a smile. "Thank you, Aunt Zhu. When our tomatoes ripen, we'll pick some for you, too." "Sure, no problem," Aunt Zhu smiled and then looked towards the silent bamboo weaver. He rarely interacted with the villagers and only exchanged a few words when they needed his services. Over time, people stopped talking to him much. She took out 2 more tomatoes from her basket and handed them to Lu Shu, winking in the bamboo weaver's direction. Lu Shu immediately understood and gestured that it was okay. Aunt Zhu paused, staring at the 3 fingers he held up. and then somewhat plaintively took out another big tomato and handed it to him. "Wow, you're so kind, good deeds will be rewarded," Lu Shu exclaimed happily. Aunt Zhu couldn't help but laugh at his words. "Big brother, Aunt Zhu gave this for you." After they left, Lu Shu turned around and ran into the house, placing the tomatoes on the table. After a while, the bamboo weaver walked in, staring blankly at the 3 big tomatoes, feeling a bit awkward as he said, "I didn't thank her." "It's okay, I already thanked her on your behalf. If you want to express gratitude, why not bring out some sunflower seeds? I'll continue telling you the rest of the story tonight," Lu Shu suggested. Sunflower seeds. The bamboo craftsman rummaged around the house and finally found a slightly damp packet of sunflower seeds. Since no one usually visited, he hadn't prepared these things. He hesitated for a moment, then looked at Lu Shu. Do you know how to make a fire?" "I do, but not very well." In no time, smoke rose from the chimney. Lu Shu stood nearby, watching as the sunflower seeds were roasted again in the pot, finding the process quite fascinating. "Excuse me, have the people inside already eaten?" At this moment, a voice rang out from outside, neither heavy nor light. The bamboo weaver paused for a moment, before the person next to him swiftly dashed out. He looked outside to see Shen Cao and a monk standing in the courtyard. In the next moment, Lu Shu rushed up but abruptly stopped just before reaching them. "Ah, the friendship of these young men is truly admirable," the bamboo weaver thought again. "You're finally back." Lu Shu looked at Shen Cao happily, then circled around him a few times, examining him closely. "How was it? Are you injured?" "I went to transcribe books, not to fight," Shen Cao chuckled. "Have you eaten?" "Not yet, what about you?" Suddenly, Hui Shang snorted. "Originally, young Master Zhang wanted to take us to a restaurant but he refused, saying there were people waiting for him at home for dinner and made us missed out on a big meal for nothing." "What kind of big meal can a monk have?" Lu Shu remarked. Hui Shang retorted, "Eating a plate of vegetables is also good." Let's go home," Shen Cao smiled slightly, holding up the paper package in his hand. "I bought the roast chicken that you like." "Ah! I love it so much." Lu Shu couldn't help but get excited, hugging Shen Cao tightly, then hooking his neck and leading him out. Let's go home." "Ahem." Hui Shang coughed heavily. The two stopped. Lu Shu turned around and extended his hand. Hui Shang glanced a few times, then shrank his neck and voluntarily looped his arm through Shen Cao's elbow. "Let's go home." Lu Shu laughed heartily, hooking one arm on each man. However, he soon realized that something was wrong. "Wait, aren't you both much taller than me? My feet can hardly touch the ground." End chapter. Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 17. The roasted chicken on the table was quickly devoured, leaving Hui Shang only able to watch but not eat. He silently ate his bread and cold tomatoes, not needing to diminish his presence, because these two seemed to have completely forgotten the existence of a third person. "How do you feel? Are you tired?" Lu Shu asked. Shen Cao knew he was referring to his transcribing of books. He nodded, "Not tired. Young Master Zhang found me a guest house outside, where I can write in peace without any disturbances." "Right." Lu Shu paused for a moment. Yet, young Master Zhang didn't task him with transcribing books because what he needed was to write essays. That's why he wanted someone to help, Shen Cao explained. "Well, that works too. After all, nothing seems to faze you, right?" Lu Shu asked uncertainly. Shen Cao nodded and Lu Shu finally relaxed. They chatted for a while before getting up to clear the bowls and chopsticks. Afterwards, Lu Shu invited him to go to the bamboo weaver's house together. They set off with lanterns in hand but noticed that Hui Shang didn't follow. "I'm not going." Hui Shang gazed into the distance, then withdrew his gaze with a wry smile. I've been out for so long. I should go back to the temple. He had been staying here for the past few days. Shen Kao hadn't asked him why, and now that he was leaving, he still didn't inquire about it. He just said, okay, be safe on the road. You're always welcome to come back, and your spot on the floor will always be reserved for you. Thank you, Hui Shang said with a twitch of his lips. After bidding farewell to Hui Shang, the two of them walked along the path. Lu Shu asked curiously, did something happen to him? It should be related to the new abbot, Shen Kao guessed. He remembered Hui Shang saying that he had been picked up by the old abbot and treated him as his closest companion. Unexpectedly, before the old abbot passed away, he brought back an illegitimate child, which greatly shocked Hui Shang's worldview. It wouldn't be surprising if he wanted to leave the monastery. They were the first to arrive at the bamboo weaver's house. The bamboo piled up in the courtyard had been sorted into the corner, making space, as if waiting for the arrival of guests. Brother Xiao, are the melon seeds roasted? Lu Shu ran into the house in a few steps. The bamboo weaver pointed to the plate woven from bamboo on the table, which was filled with melon seeds. We also brought some snacks. Shen Kao took out a bag of candied fruit he had bought on the way back today. The three of them sat around the table, and Lu Shu started eating the melon seeds on his own. Seeing that the bamboo weaver was just sitting still, he grabbed a handful of melon seeds and put them in front of him. Brother Xiao, you should eat too, don't just sit there. Oh, thank you. The bamboo weaver took the melon seeds into his hand and began to munch on them. Who is the host here, again? Shen Kao couldn't help but smile. Before long, the lively voice of Aunt Zhu came from outside. She walked in while patting her husband on the back. Sorry, we're late. This guy took forever to finish his meal. After exchanging a few words, they all looked at Shen Kao together. Shen Kao continued the story from where Lu Shu had left off this afternoon. Fortunately, Lu Shu had already told the bamboo weaver the beginning of the story, so he could keep up with the plot. Shen Kao noticed his fists clenching as he listened intently. When the candle was about to burn out, Shen Kao stopped talking, ending the story for the night, and they agreed to continue next time. On the way back, Lu Shu kept pestering him about what happened next in the story, his face almost touching Shen Kao's. Don't look at me, look at the road. Shen Kao reached out to touch his cheek and position his face to look straight ahead. If my former teacher had taught me these things, maybe I wouldn't have hated school so much. Lu Shu laughed and finished speaking, kicking a pebble on the road. You've been to school? Shen Kao was somewhat surprised. Yeah, for almost half a year, then I stopped. Why? Because those bastards insulted me. They even insulted my mother. Lu Shu exclaimed angrily, kicking another stone aside. My mother was young and beautiful, and she was strong, but because she was a concubine, she was insulted by those bastards. It makes me so angry. Even now, just thinking about it made him yell, I'll kill those bastards. From his brief words, Shen Kao gained a little more understanding about Lu Shu's background. Being a neglected illegitimate child at home and insulted outside, he truly was pitiful. Don't be angry. It's not worth getting upset over those people, Shen Kao said, reaching out to pat his head, soothing his emotions. As if by some magic, that hand smoothed away all of Lu Shu's anger, and his agitated face slowly calmed down, even showing a hint of enjoyment. He didn't mention the various schemes he had used to bully those people afterwards, feeling that if this man, who seemed so noble and understanding, knew about those things, he might look down on him or refuse to be friends with him anymore. It was always others begging to be friends with young Master Lu, so this feeling of insecurity was rare. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. For several days in a row, Shen Kao went back and forth between the village and the town, while Lu Shu followed the bamboo weaver to learn his trade. The days passed quickly, yet also felt somewhat long. In the blink of an eye, it was the summer solstice. As the saying goes, dumplings for the winter solstice and noodles for the summer solstice. On this day, everyone in the village cooked noodles. Lu Shu had noodles cooked by Shen Cao in the morning, ate shredded meat noodles at the bamboo weaver's place for lunch, and had clear soup noodles specially brought over by Aunt Zhu in the evening. Verb. That really filled him up. It was very hot that day, so everyone finished work early and gathered up at the bamboo weaver's place in the evening to cool off and chat. The place to hang out and chat seemed to have shifted from Sister Xiang's house to the bamboo weaver's house. The bamboo weaver was still as taciturn as ever, but no one pressed him anymore. After all, they mainly came here to listen to the stories of Brother Cao, so they didn't mind whether their hot faces were met with the bamboo weaver's cold indifference. Anyway, every time they came, there were plenty of melon seeds and peanuts to go around. Since such snacks were available to eat, everyone would naturally bring some fruits and melons to share. After telling stories that night, Aunt Zhu even asked Shen Cao to help her write a letter, which delayed them a bit on their way back. Accompanied by the chirping of cicadas and the croaking of frogs, the two of them whispered and laughed alternately, finding the most comfortable moments in these plain and unremarkable days. After more than half a month of training, Lu Shu could now roughly split bamboo into several pieces. Today, he had to go up the mountain again to cut bamboo. The sun was scorching hot and he was sweating profusely in no time. He wanted to finish quickly and go back to rest, so his movements became much faster. After tying up the bamboo on the ground, he struggled to lift it onto his shoulders. Suddenly, his head spun and he staggered a few steps before falling to the ground. Shen Cao sat upright at the table in the inn, concentrating on writing and dipping his brush into the ink's tone. The room was quiet. Suddenly, the door was pushed open urgently. "Brother Cao, quickly! Go find a doctor!" Shen Cao turned around, looking at the sweaty bamboo weaver. Such worried look rarely appeared on his otherwise expressionless face. As he stood up, he asked what's happened. Xiao Wu fainted. The bamboo weaver had heard that Shen Cao was writing articles for people in this inn before, so he came here first to find him. Shen Cao's expression changed. "Where is he? How is he?" "He's still downstairs." As soon as the words fell, Shen Cao had already stepped aside and swiftly went downstairs. Outside the door, there was a wooden cart parked, and the innkeeper was scolding the person who parked the donkey here. "Who's this? No civic consciousness, parking the donkey here. Is someone inside dead?" Shen Cao's expression darkened for a moment as he hurried toward the cart. Seeing Lu Shu lying pale on it and looking fragile, made his heart skip a beat. The bamboo weaver also followed, not knowing which room Shen Cao was in beforehand, so he had to leave the person and start searching one by one. "We'll move him." Before the bamboo weaver could finish his sentence, he saw Shen Cao had already lifted the person horizontally, striding across the threshold and carrying him upstairs without looking back. The bamboo weaver stared at his back in astonishment for a moment, recalling the scene of him cutting bamboo on the first day. Did he have this much strength? "I'll go find the doctor." "Big brother, please look after him," Shen Cao hurriedly instructed after laying the person down on the bed, then rushed off to find the doctor. Soon, the doctor arrived and after examining him, he said it was due to anemia and heat stroke. "Is he usually malnourished and overworked?" "With the recent heat, it's easy to suffer from heat stroke. I'll prescribe some medicine first, but the most important thing is to eat more nutritious food and rest more often." Shen Cao watched the sick person intently, feeling guilty. He then turned to fetch the medicine. After collecting the medicine, there was hardly any money left, and he also had to pay the doctor's fee. He awkwardly searched all over his body until he finally pulled out a jade pendant hidden in his bosom. "This was left by my grandmother. I'll leave it here as collateral for now. I'll come back to pay you when I have the money. Is that all right?" The doctor glanced at the quality of the jade pendant, unsure of its exact value but figured that the other party wouldn't default on the payment anyway. Go and come back quickly. The trip to the town had taken most of the bamboo weaver's day already and he had to hurry back, so he couldn't stay in town any longer. Fortunately, Hui Shang had been begging for alms in town these past few days. After Shen Cao instructed him with a few words, Shen Cao rode with the bamboo weaver's donkey cart back to get some money from home. Does your family still have money? The bamboo weaver had long learned about their financial situation from Lu Shu's incessant chatter. With expenses outweighing income, he frowned with concern. I can lend you some. It's all right, Shen Cao said with his head lowered. We still have some money left. Don't worry. Even if they borrowed money to get through this ordeal, there would be times of financial difficulty ahead. Xiao Wu had already suffered enough by following him, they couldn't let him continue to eat humble fare every day. Back home, he retrieved the package that had been wrapped in layers. Inside were his treasures. Lu Shu had no understanding of these things at all. Even though he often saw Shen Cao looking at them and touching them, he never thought about how much wealth these headache-inducing calligraphy and paintings could bring. End chapter. Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 18. Lu Shu slowly opened his eyes and was caught off guard by the sudden light, causing his pupils to momentarily contract before he averted his gaze from the slightly reflective ceiling. He coughed. It suddenly woke up Hui Shang, who was dozing off, suddenly woke up. He yawned and asked, awake? Are you hungry? Yes. Lu Shu rubbed his stomach and looked around. Where is this? We're at an inn. Hui Shang pulled him up and dragged him to the table. Let's eat. Can you be quieter? You have no idea what discretion is. Lu Shu grumbled. If I knew that thing, I wouldn't have become a monk. Hui Shang yawned again and proceeded to lay his head on the table, ready to continue his nap. Hey, where's Ah Cao? Lu Shu drank the almost cold rice porridge. He looked around but he didn't see Shen Cao's figure. He went to borrow money from young Master Zhang. Hui Shang replied without raising his head. Borrow money? Lu Shu looked at the sky outside. It was already noon, which meant he had slept from yesterday afternoon until now. Although his head still felt a little dizzy and he didn't have much of an appetite, but he was feeling much better than yesterday. It should be because a doctor had come to see him. He asked again, does it cost a lot to see a doctor? What do you think? Hui Shang said drowsily, poor people dare not get sick. You really have no sense of poverty. Now, our already poor life is even worse. Lu Shu lost his appetite even more after hearing this. He looked down at the several chicken bones in his hand. He reluctantly put down the chicken leg and weakly crawled back to bed. After a while, the door creaked open and footsteps that were very light was heard, as if afraid of disturbing someone resting. However, when the person reached the bedside, the footsteps suddenly paused. Xiao Wu. Shen Cao looked at the person lying on the bed in disbelief. The unmoving person had 2 lines of tears slowly rolling down his cheeks, his eyes red. Shen Cao immediately sat down beside the bed, grabbed the person's hand, and asked anxiously, what's wrong? Are you still feeling uncomfortable? I'm sorry. Lu Shu slowly turned around, his back facing Shen Cao as he muttered, it's all my fault. If I hadn't gotten sick, you wouldn't have had to borrow money. It's embarrassing. He had seen it all, those people who borrowed money everywhere and endured all kinds of torture for the sake of begging. His friend's younger brother liked to lend money to others as he liked watching other people endure all kinds of torture for the sake of this favor, it made him excited. Although he didn't like this approach very much, he didn't care about it. He was just a bystander after all. If the tortured person wanted to hold a grudge, he would only hold a grudge against the initiator. What did it have to do with him? But now, he didn't know what kind of person this young Master Zhang was, whom Shen Cao borrowed money from. However, Just thinking about Shen Cao begging others made him angry at himself for implicating him. It's not you who lost face. Shen Cao pursed his lips, a hint of a smile in his eyes. Why are you crying because of this? Lu Shu belatedly realized that he was actually the one who lost face. He, the young master of the Lu family, had transformed into a farmer who planted rice and wove mats, eating inexplicable food every day, and had never shed a tear. Shameful, shameful. What would his brothers think if they found out? He slowly pulled up the blanket, covering himself completely. Xiao Wu. Shen Cao went to pull his blanket. It's hot, loosen it up else you will get heat stroke again. Lu Shu shivered suddenly, then sat up abruptly and put on a smile again. Yes, it was Xiao Wu who lost face. What did it have to do with this young master Lu? Did that young master Zhang lend you money? Lu Shu immediately focused on the main topic. I didn't borrow any, it's an advance payment. Shen Cao said. But it's just a small advance. Actually, the famous painting left by the previous dynasty was exchanged for over 900 taels. However, suddenly bringing out such a large sum of money would definitely arouse suspicion, so he pretended that he went to young Master Zhang to ask for a little advance of his monthly salary. His gaze drifted towards the pawn shop across the street. This place was remote, and there were very few people who understood art. It should be unlikely that someone would come to buy that painting in a short period of time. He specifically instructed the shopkeeper to wait until he had the money to redeem it in the future. As for how he would redeem it, he either had to earn this much money quickly or return to the capital. Did he really not give you trouble for it? Lu Shu's words interrupted his thoughts. He turned back and smiled slightly. No. The food is getting cold. Do you want to get up and eat something? Yes. Lu Shu hadn't eaten enough just now. When he heard this, he got up again, picked up a chicken leg and asked anxiously while eating, what does that young Master Zhang do? How wealthy is his family? What's his personality like? Did he mention any conditions when you asked him? Like selling yourself or your skills? Or making you agree to unequal treaties? Shen Cao was stunned for a moment. There is actually one. Who? Suddenly, a loud voice came from outside and the door was kicked open. Who's talking behind my back? The two of them were startled, and Hui Shang, who was half dead and half asleep, sat up suddenly, looking blankly at the door. A man in a blue brocade robe walked in, fanning himself in a pretentious manner. His gaze swept around the room. Then, he walked straight to Lu Shu, folding his fan and pointing at him with narrowed eyes. Is it you? Lu Shu glanced at his exaggerated appearance and arrogant actions. He had confirmed with his own eyes that he came across a fellow who was exactly like him before. Yes, it's me. You're the friend of Shen Cao who's sick. Indeed. The young master looked at the nearly finished roasted chicken in front of him, finding it hard to believe that this was the weak person Shen Cao had described. He raised his gaze to his face and stared at it for a long time before snorting disdainfully, "You're quite good looking." Yes. After waiting for a while, the young master frowned. Aren't you going to reciprocate? You look, you also have two eyes. Young Master Zhang, ... If you can't give compliment then don't force it. Zhang Moyang's forehead twitched twice as he angrily glared at him. Then turned to Shen Cao and said meaningfully, I forgot to bring today's homework, so you can go to my house to get it. Shen Cao nodded, reminding Hui Shang, who was still half asleep, to take care of Xiao Wu, and then left the inn. He hurried to the Zhang family's residence, where someone was already waiting at the front gate. Young Master Zhang's sister waved her hand eagerly when she saw him, even before he could explain his purpose. She handed him the homework, smiled at him, her cheeks flushed from the sun. Thank you, young Miss Zhang. It's hot, do go inside quickly, Shen Cao said, taking the items and turning to leave, not noticing young Miss Zhang was still standing there waving. Miss, although he looks handsome, he's ultimately a poor boy. He's quite miserable, the maid reminded her. He didn't choose his background. Besides, he's talented, at least he should be able to pass the imperial examinations. More importantly, he has a good character, young Miss Zhang said, watching him leave with a dreamy expression, then shyly asked, did he really promise my brother not to marry until he passes the exams? Yes, young master did as you instructed. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. The sun hung in the sky like a furnace, with few people on the street. Shen Cao started sweating as he walked, not understanding the significance of the promise he made to young Master Zhang last night when he asked for an advance of his monthly salary. Fortunately, he didn't want to marry now since he hadn't established himself, so he had agreed. It was Xiao Wu who actually guessed that the other party would make demands. Thinking of Xiao Wu, he quickened his pace and ran back to the inn, worried that something might happen with him with Zhang Moyang there as he was a known dandy. As soon as he reached the downstairs, he heard a shout of awe. It was Xiao Wu's voice. His expression changed and he quickly ran upstairs, pushing the door open with one hand. He saw Xiao Wu excitedly clapping his hands, dropping the wooden dice in his hands, and pointing at Zhang Moyang, who looked like he was about to collapse. You lost again, hurry up and call me father. Shen Cao, ... Shen Cao paused. Another round. Zhang Moyang shouted. It's the same no matter how many rounds we play. You've already lost 18 times. A real man accepts defeat. Are you still a man? Lu Shu asked, rolling the dice. Shen Cao walked in and looked at Zhang Moyang, who was holding his head in his hands and was about to cry. Just as he was about to speak, Zhang Moyang's rough voice interrupted him. Who said I'm not a man? Father. Shen Kun, ... He glanced at Lu Shu, who shyly smiled at him. Sorry about that, I've become someone's ancestors again without feeling anything. End chapter.